TNT, this franchise finally champions once again in the Philippine Basketball Association after 6 long years. The TNT Tropang Giga taking down the Magnolia Hotshots, Pambansang Manok, in 5 games in the finals inside the semi-bubble in Pampanga to win the coveted crown in the Philippine Cup. This is TNT's first championship since 2015 when they topped the Commissioner's Cup. All smiles from Coach Chot Reyes, the players of TNT on your screens right now. This is also the team's first All-Filipino title since the 2012-2013 season. And leading the Tropang Giga, who else but the man, the one and only Coach Chot Reyes. And Coach Chot now tied with Baby Dalupan for the most Philippine Cup titles as a coach with 6. But what makes this victory extra special for Coach Chot, and we've seen it on his social media, is he got to win another championship with his firstborn son, Josh Reyes, who is an assistant coach for the team. This is their 5th PBA title together, among others. They've also won numerous championships in international competitions as part of Gilas Pilipinas. And good morning, welcome to Sports Desk. Again, I'm Andre Felix, and they're now joining us to go all out on this story, this holiday, November 1st, Monday. TNT head coach Chot Reyes and his son, his firstborn, TNT assistant coach Josh Reyes. Welcome to the show, Reyes boys. Good morning, and congratulations to both of you.
Thank you, Andre.
Josh?
Thanks, Ray. Good morning.
Good morning sa inyong dalawa. I know masaya dyan sa Casa Reyes, and it's just all smiles. I've been congratulating both of you on social media. Again, I'm personally happy for both of you and TNT and the Reyes family. I'll start, of course, with your father, Josh, si Coach Chot. Coach, now that you're out of the bubble and you've settled back home, we saw that post on Instagram, and parang 2 months, no? 60 plus days that you guys were away from your families and your home there. Nagsink in na ba na after almost 10 years away from the PBA, you've managed to win another championship in your first conference back in the PBA with this franchise?
It kind of settled down already, but I think it was Mikey Williams who said it's kind of a surreal feeling because you plan for this, you visualize this, you put in the work, but even while it's already there, you never really anticipate the combined feeling of satisfaction, contentment, relief, achievement, and pride, of course.
Of course.
So all of those things, we're just we're just marinating in it for now.
Josh, and I messaged you this morning. Sabi ko, Coach, kay Josh, na the first time you won a championship as a PBA head coach, grade 3 kami nun. So magka-batch kami ni Josh eh. Hindi namin sasabihin yung edad. No, grade 3 kami nun sa Ateneo. I remember that. Kasi binabanggit yun ng teacher na, yun nga, tas, di ba pag may family, may mga parang fair, talagang kwento yun na, daddy mo si Chot Reyes. But now you've won 5 PBA titles with your dad. And I'm sure that feeling, Josh, of winning a championship never gets old. But what makes this victory even more special or different? How different is this from the previous 4? Because I remember nung sa Coca-Cola dad mo, college tayo, and then you've won together na nga sa TNT. But this one, how sweet is this to win this title inside the semi-bubble and to be back in TNT?
Grabe memory mo, Andre. Hindi ko na nga naalala na grade 3 tayo nun.
Ni-research ko eh.
I don't even remember your section. Anyway, every championship, every season is special in its own way. So, some more so. But with this one, it's simple because unang-una, hindi ko akalain. I never really thought when my father retired, I never thought that he will come back into coaching in the PBA. And more so will be back working together. But when it happened, it was just riding a bike. It just, working together just happens so smoothly. We don't even think about it. It just transitions well. I think the only difference this time around is I'm the experienced or I'm the veteran
Yeah.
assistant coach now. Whereas before we had Norman Black, we had Nash, Rosella, Bong with Chico, other stuff like that.
Yeah.
So this time when you look around the bench, it's just him and me, and then the other coaches. Of course, we had Coach Rani Del Do Campo, who was who's a veteran player, a legend, and he helps with the mentality of the players. We had Coach Bong, who does pretty much the same, and Coach Yuri Escueta, who we work with the scouting and film stuff.
Yeah.
So that's it. So it's just us, and we relied on each other the most during this bubble season or conference.
No, props to the coaching staff of Coach Chot. And you know, kasi syempre si Coach Chot, siya yung umarap. Siya yung head coach eh. But you know, the coaching staff, I know how difficult your job is. The assistant coaching staff yan, nabanggit mo nga, sina Coach yours, you, the whole management, the whole team. Let's go back to the finals as we take a look at the celebrations here on your screens. But you guys, let's face it, you absolutely dominated Magnolia in that series. In fact, you even led by as many as 25 points in that Game 5 when you clinched the title last Friday. And Coach Chot, syempre from the outside looking in, alam mo naman, di maiiwasan yung mga haters eh. Sasabihin nila na mas nadalian naman ng TNT sa finals compared sa semifinals when you face San Miguel. Your thoughts on you know, the challenges that you guys also face against, not to take anything away from Magnolia, but how difficult you played this series against Magnolia, and how well and just an well-oiled machine your team played during this final series against Magnolia.
Yeah, I think, and I've said this before, the series was a lot closer than the score indicated. Even the game scores didn't indicate the kind of battle and the kind of skirmishes that took place during the game itself. I think it just so happened that we were a lot more consistent and we had a lot more energy. And a lot of that was due to the fact that we were really prepared and sharpened by the series, the semifinal series against San Miguel. I thought when we were able to get by San Miguel, that really prepared us not only physically and basketball-wise, but even mentally to play a very tough team in Magnolia. And you spoke of the coaching staff earlier, and I want to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff, because the big difference now, when you ask that, Andre, is that this year Josh took up most of the coaching cudgels.
Yeah.
I was very minimally involved. I allowed Josh and Yuri, Ranidel, and Bong to actually talk about and craft and create the game plan, execution, and all that, and even doing a lot of things in running practice. And it's really my way of continuously developing the coaches with me in the staff. But you can ask the players the kind of contribution and how important they were in this campaign. So going back to the Magnolia series, I relied heavily on their experience.
Yeah.
Playing against this party, I had no experience. I had no previous experience playing against this Magnolia team. I had no previous experience playing, coaching against San Miguel. And they were the ones who really provided the lessons that they learned from the past, the futility, the losses that they had in the past.
Yeah.
I think we learned well, and we used those lessons in good stead in this present campaign.
Oh, grabe din. We'll get to that, yung growth ni Josh. I will talk about that in a bit as a coach. And grabe din yung notes niyan. I'm sure, grabe yung scouting report niyan. Magnolia sa San Miguel. Josh, isa sa mga gusto kong pag-usapan, actually, one of the main keys at your success is your super rookie, Mikey Williams. And to no one's surprise, Mikey, kumbaga no-brainer na siya yung finals MVP. Because I know you've been doing the scouting even before people heard about Stanley Pringle and all those Filipino-American guys. Kilala mo na sila dahil you research about them already and probably even recruiting them for Gilas. But let's talk about Mikey Williams and having a guy like that who can just beat you offensively in so many ways.
Yeah, because really how we want to play the game, how our system is built, we need players exactly in the mold of Mikey Williams. So, it's no guarantee, but we knew if things work out, he will really thrive and cause problems for other teams in our system.
Yeah.
In the same manner how we really chased or reached after Jason Castro, where he wasn't really the top prospect during his draft class, but we knew that it was Jason who would fit the mold or the needs that our system required.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with Mikey Williams. So when you talk about recruiting, it's just fortunate for me that working a long time with the Gilas program, I get the chance to really travel, go to all the D-League showcases and talk to agents around the world about players with Filipino blood. And, more than maybe 6 or 8 years ago, the name of Mikey Williams have popped up along with the likes of Christian Stan Hardinger, Mike McKinney, all those guys, Stephen Holt, all those guys who are still abroad and are still prospects up to this day. But Mikey has long been in our radar. Medyo nagkaroon nga ng time na medyo nawala because we thought that baka long shot maayos yung papers niya, although his mom was really is really Filipino, but thankfully nangyari. He was able to fix them by himself, and when his name popped out in the draft charts, we knew that he was the guy we needed to acquire and to make things work.
And you know what? Sabi mo nga, he was just a perfect fit for your system, and talagang hand in a glove etong si Mikey Williams, and that guy just continuously impresses us, lalo na sa mga nanonood ng basketball. Stay where you are.
Andre,
Go ahead. No problem.
Sorry to cut you. I just want to add that talking to his former coaches, to agents, the one thing that really stood out was his character. Everybody vouched for his attitude, and it showed really. Sobrang gaan niyang dalhin as a teammate. Sobrang gustong-gusto siya ng mga locals, and that really pushed us over the top.
Parang mukhang hindi sakit sa ulo tong taon to. We'll take a quick break, but we'll get back to you, Coach Josh, and Coach Chot. TNT coaches and father and son tandem of Josh and Chot Reyes will still be with us after this really quick break, but we still have with us today TNT head coach Chot Reyes and his son, assistant coach Josh Reyes, and they just won a championship in the PBA Philippine Cup. Again, their 5th title together as father and son, and TNT winning the Philippine Cup title just last Friday. Coach Chot, let's go back to one of the biggest storylines ng finals was Troy Rosario suffering injuries from that really bad fall in Game 3 and then coming back to play in Games 4 and 5. Honestly, personally, I didn't think he would come back after that scary fall. And when you told us that he only had 70% sensation on one leg, plus that dislocated finger, I thought he was over for the series. But talk about how Troy, his resiliency, and how he still contributed despite the injuries he was battling in that series.
Great courage and great heart on Troy's part. The practice before, he tried going with that dislocated finger and even with that diminished sensation on his other leg. And mukha talagang hindi kaya. So he just walked through, did some very light shooting, was doing mostly stretches, and really didn't participate in our 5-on-5 and anything of that sort. So it was a game time decision. It was just going to be a matter of how Troy would feel during game time. And when we got there to Davsu and I asked him, sabi niya he wanted to give it a go. And I thought, if anything, it would give us a dose of inspiration and really a great show of courage to rub off on his teammates, saying, I mean, if Troy, dislocated finger, spinal shock and all, is going to go out there, then what's everybody else's excuse not to go out with their 100%, right? So I think that's it. That was the story of the Troy Rosario incident, and Same thing happened again in Game 5.
Yeah.
Late in the second quarter, middle of the second quarter, he finally pulled the hamstring because of, you know how it is, right? When you're compensating for one
Yeah.
part, when you have
Yeah.
a weak back, so you overcompensate some other
yeah.
part of your body, and he pulled his hamstring, his groin, badly in Game 5, and he couldn't go in the second half. You notice Troy did not play in the second half at all in Game 5
Yeah.
because he already had the pulled hamstring then. So, but he still wanted to try. He still wanted to try, pero talagang after nag-shooting siya nung halftime, talagang hindi kaya. So he was being worked on the sideline. Hopefully, kung kailangan, baka kailangan siya ibalik. But fortunately, hindi na. But that's just the kind of person Troy Rosario is. It's just a joy to have on the team. Just makes any coach's life easier. He's the kind of player, he's an impact player, the kind of player that is great value, low maintenance. And, you know, as a coach, every coach will tell you, those are the kinds of players you like to have on your team. Great value, low maintenance type of player.
Grabe, hamstring is really a nagging injury, one of those injuries that, you know, keep on, hindi na basta-basta nawawala unless ipahinga mo. And grabe din yung, syempre, sina you know, Poy, Kelly, I want to mention them also because they were fantastic even with nursing injuries. With this victory, Coach, I mentioned it earlier, I'm sure you are aware that you are now tied with the legendary Baby Dalupan for the most PBA Philippine Cup titles as a coach. Did you think about that? What are your thoughts on that achievement when you know, be in the same sentence as Baby Dalupan and
Well, Baby is a dear friend.
Yeah.
I was fortunate enough to spend a few years with him before his demise, and I thought the closest I could get to Baby was being named as the first ever Baby Dalupan Coach of the Year recipient. But to be now tied with him, I only knew it when Carlo Pamintuan mentioned it during the award ceremony.
Really?
I had no idea.
Really?
I had no inkling.
Yeah, okay.
I had no clue. So, you know, just a great stroke of fortune. Really blessed to just be mentioned in the same breath as the maestro.
Josh, let's talk about the dynamic, yung father and son dynamic, and you know, to have your dad there as part of the coaching staff. Because I know, nung syempre, when you were starting out, he was the one guiding you. Pero sabi nga ni Coach Chot kanina, kumbaga, mas experience ka. Siya kakabalik lang dahil ikaw, you've been in the PBA pa rin even when he wasn't in the PBA. And not everyone can say na they've won 5 PBA titles with their father as coaches of the same team dito sa PBA. So let's talk about that dynamic, how that, you know, this dynamic now that you have come to your own, ika nga.
Well, you know, it's really, when you talk about the dynamic, and the one advantage really that we have is the absolute trust, of course.
Yeah.
So nagugulat nga si Coach Yuri, sila Coach Ranidel kung paano kami magsagutan minsan sa sidelines. Kung paano kami magsagutan sa practice bago mag-start, kala na nag-aaway na kami. Pero ganoon lang talaga because, you know, we don't hesitate to speak each other's minds.
Yeah.
I heard him say this before. I heard Tex Winter talking to my father say this before that.
Yeah.
Si Tex Winter daw sabi niya, akala ng lahat ng tao kay Phil Jackson, he's the consultant. Where in fact, he is the insultant. He's the only guy who can say the things that nobody else could say. So I guess it works the same way with me and my father. So I'm the only person who has the audacity to say stuff to him nobody else could. But really, the dynamic even before was, you know, it's really a fortunate circumstance for me because I had the privilege to travel and really learn the technical side of the stuff he wants to run because he's busy coaching stuff like that. So he wanted to he wanted to you know, dip his shoes in the dribble drive, and he sent me out there to learn it and all these technical stuff. So in essence, the dynamic is a lot of the technical stuff of basketball, our system, scouting, defensive schemes. I provide the groundwork, and then he goes out there and coaches the guys, pushes the right buttons, make sure that the players work as a unit, he builds the team really well. He builds the trust within the team really well, and it just goes off from there.
Coach Chot, your thoughts? Hearing Josh there and the growth of Josh as a coach. And sabi mo nga dun sa post mo, di ba? It's special, your firstborn, but the growth of Josh as someone you can trust in the battle, di ba? Kumbaga, alam mo yung first lieutenant mo, maaasahan mo.
Yeah, and that trust has to be in the same manner that if kung nagkakalat ako, sabihin mo sa akin. Kasi ganun din di ba? Trust cannot be just, I want to hear only the good things that you want to tell me. Hindi ganun. And that's the same culture that we're building in our team among the players as well. You have to be able to tell each other even the painful news, even the bad news, the things that they don't want to hear. And that's what trust is all about. It's not all about the rosy, positive things. And that's the dynamic. If there's Josh sees something, he tells me, and then I ask him, so anong gusto mong gawin natin? And then so yeah, babalikan na kami. And that's why other people will think, nag-aaway na yung mag-ama. But it's just really, I really call it productive conflict. And in my team development workshops, I really teach productive conflict.
Yeah.
I tell teams, and this can be sports or in work, that you have to be engaged. You have to be fighting. You have to be willing to challenge each other because that's the only time the best ideas are going to come out. Kung tatahi-tahimik kayo dyan, chochope-chope ka dyan, you're not adding, wala kang value sa team, di ba? So that's the same thing I'm trying to build in the players. Yeah. And that's the same dynamic that Josh and I have, especially when a lot of times when I'm getting upset at the referees and the officials already, he's the one who's going to tell me, tama na, huwag ka na mag-coach ka na, and so on and so forth. And so many other things, technical, tactical, and strategic. So, and hopefully that kind of relationship, that kind of dynamic is picked up by the other coaches. And the players as well. Hopefully we're modeling it. Hopefully we're role modeling it so that they will see that's what collaboration is. That's what real communication is. Real communication is not sasabihin mo lang kung anong gusto marinig ng kalaban. Hindi communication yun, di ba? Kwentong kutsero yun, kwentong barbero, tawag natin yun.
Kwentong barbero.
That's not real communication, di ba? So,
I'm enjoying this conversation, but before we continue this, let's find out first the answer to our quiz question of the day. The question I asked earlier was, which I will also ask Coach Josh and Coach Chot, 6 players from TNT's 2021 Philippine Cup team are also UAAP men's basketball champions. Who are they? Coach Josh, Coach Chot, I'm going to put you both in the hot seat. Yeah, you have any inklings on who these players are?
Ang dali naman yan. Puro player ni Josh yan eh.
yung mga UAAP, yung mga nag-UAAP sa team namin.
Go, sino? Josh, sige. Si Poy.
4 FU and 2 NU. Yeah.
We have 3 NU players.
Tama.
Troy, JJ, and Glenn. So that's 3. We have 2 from we have so
Brian
Roger,
and
1 FU.
RR.
Ryan and Ping, I don't know.
And RR Pogoy.
Let's take a look at the correct answers. You forgot Poy. Si Poy, 3-time UAP champion with Ateneo Blue Eagles. Si Troy Rosario, JJ Alejandro, Glenn Cobuntin, and yung
Yeah, si Ryan and si Ximiliano hindi nga. So it's Kib and Poy.
Yep. So si Glenn, Troy, JJ, part of that historic NU team that became UAP champions in 2014. Si RR won a UAP title with the FEU Tamaraos, alam mo yun, Josh, in 2015. And si Kib, who's a 2-time UAP champion with the De La Salle Green Archers.
Si Ryan ba hindi nanalo? Akala ko nanalo si Ryan.
Hindi, no? Hindi
graduate na siya.
Hindi umabot, Coach. Okay, let's talk about the PBA moving forward. They're planning another conference, possibly this month. Parang bilis, no? Yung pahinga, mabibitin. But Coach Chot, realistically, when will your preparation start for TNT for this next conference?
We've given everyone off. I just told them, everyone be back ready. If you need to get a quarantine coming back or whatever, basta ready to come to practice on the 15th. So everyone has these 2 weeks off. They can do whatever they want, but I just want everyone to be ready to come to practice on the 15th.
Josh, kung bubble ulit, okay lang?
Well, wala naman tayong choice eh. So, kung anong iharap sa atin, ilang.
Sanay ka na sa bubble, Josh eh. Si Coach, first time mag-bubble eh. But thank you again. If you want to add anything, go ahead before we end the show, Coach Chot, Coach Josh. Anything else?
Yeah, Josh, you first.
Yeah, just to the TNT Tropang Giga fans who are out there supporting. Well, we hear you, we hear your messages, we read, we see, and nakakatulong talaga, dagdag ng lakas ng loob, nakakadagdag ng what do you call this? Nakaka-encourage talaga, and we appreciate you even though there are less chances on seeing you and interacting with you guys, but for sure know that we know that you are there and we hear your messages.
Coach Chot, quickly.
Yeah, for us, it's family. The family of the players, their wives, their kids, who all sacrificed. And then our ownership, Boss MVP, Mr. Ricky Vargas, Mr. Alpanlillo, they're all part of the family. And of course, the players and the fans. It's one big extended family. And hopefully with our play, we make them proud. At the same time, we appreciate all their sacrifice and their hard work. They are part of the victory as well.
Alam mo, tingin ko, lucky charm talaga si Calista eh. Yung apo mo, yung anak ni Josh. Siya ang lucky
Yes,
charm.
sir.
Thank you once again. Reyes family, father and son, maraming salamat for taking time on this holiday to join us here on the show. And we'll see you again. Congratulations, Coach Josh, Coach Chot. Thank you. Stay safe. Regards to the family. Ingat kayo. We'll visit you your house one of these days. Galing magluto yan si Josh. Again, we just had TNT head coach Chot Reyes and TNT assistant coach Josh Reyes. Now,